From here, you need to go to Yanil. So that's where my house is located, so I'll just teleport there. And head to the Dragon in Tabard, which is directly south of the house portal. And use the tankard on the bartender. He'll tell you it belonged to Brentel Van. And you should go speak to Zavistic Rarv, because the guy who owned the tankard was like a shady wizard. So he would assume that people in the Wizards Guild would know what's up. And so if you don't have the magic level required to get in here, I actually don't know what it is. Apparently it's less than 66. You ring this bell, and he would come outside and talk to you. But then talk to him about Zogres. Shit. Alright, and then he tells you to talk to Zithic Intis, who is like directly north of here. In this, it's called a guest house. So run directly north. And climb to the top floor? No, the first floor. Or second floor, depending on your nationality, I guess. Climb up the ladder once. He'll be in bed, and talk to him. Do all the dialogue options with him. And go ahead and search everything in the room, which would be the cupboard, the drawers, and the wardrobe. And you'll get papyrus, charcoal, a book of portraiture, and a book of ham. Read all three of the books. You don't actually have to my bad. Search the cupboard again, and make sure you get all three of the books, which is the Book of Ham, the Book of Necromancy, or the Necromancy book, and the Book of Portraiture. And then you read all three of the books. And it just gives you a short dialogue box. It doesn't actually bring up the book reading screen. Then use the Book of Portraiture on Civic. And he recommends that you try it, and that if you want to know how, you read it. And then you want to what we will be doing is drawing a portrait of Civic, which is where the papyrus comes in handy. So use the papyrus on Civic. And then use it on him. And what you were looking for is when there's a dialogue box, he will either say honesty or truth. And if he says truth, search the, I believe it was the drawers again, to get another piece of papyrus, and then do it again until you get this dialogue box where it says, I like the honesty of the work. Well done. From here, you run back to the Dragon Tavern Inn. And you will show the bartender the portrait of Civic. So use the portrait on the bartender. And you'll find out that this guy is most likely the one that killed the guy who owned the dragon tankard. So now he signs the portrait in order for us to incriminate the man. And we then just run back to Rarv. And make sure you still have all the items in your inventory. Then go through the dialogue and use the third option after you want to talk about Zogres. And this will go through all of the items you have to incriminate him. And he will give you a strange potion at the end and take away all your items. So with the strange potion, run back to where Zithik is, or Civic, right? So climb up the ladder, go over to the west room again, and use the strange potion on his cup of tea. Then go back downstairs and climb back up again. And you will see that he looks a little different. So he is turned into an ogre. From here, go through all 3 dialogue options, and he will teach you how to make Relisum's Balm and Brutal Arrows, both of which will be useful. And then afterwards, you can say you have to go. And this is where we have learned how to create 2 of the things that will help us, along with why we need these 2 herbs. So go ahead and clean them. And then use the rogue's purse on the vial of water. And then the snakeweed. And now you'll have a Relisum's Balm. Now don't use it, because you can trade it to Ugugnar, who is next to Grish, to open up a shop, and so forth. So don't do that. But just go ahead and go back to the area where they are, Grish, and where you had started the quest, so that we can get some achey logs. So you want to find trees that are, achey trees. They have the name in them, but they look like this. And go ahead and make ogre shafts. And if you travel west, there's a lot more, so I will begin recording after I have gotten quite a few of them. So after collecting a fair amount of achey logs, fletch 1 composite ogre bow, and then use your bowstring to complete it, and then turn the rest into ogre arrow shafts. From here, use the feathers on the ogre arrow shafts, and then use the nail on that. So I only have 20. That may or may not be enough. He is a fairly strong boss for lower levels. With 70, I mean, you can melee this boss. You don't even have to do this part if you believe you're strong enough. But once you have your items, use the Relisum's Bomb on Uglug. And it opens up this shop. So you can go ahead and buy one back. There's also bowstring and everything you would need to complete the items, such as more eggy logs, a bowstring, knife. But anyways, talk to Grish once you've completed your items. And just go through all the dialogue options. Because if you say there must be an easier way to kill these Zogres, and a way to cure disease. And that is all. So now you'll be able to wield your composite ogre bow. Which gives not much range strength, but that's fine. And with your ogre gate key, you will be ready to fight the boss. So go ahead and run back into here. If you're a lower level, remember that you will need some of the Relisum's Bomb or some restores. And also, prayer gets drained very quickly during this fight. So you will need restore potions or prayer potions in order to restore your prayer. Because he uses both melee and ranged attacks. So the best thing you can do is safe spot him and then pray range, and you will be fine. So from the entrance, you want to run due west. Where you see these two doors. So go to the first one, go to the second one, and run to the other end. Climb down. And I think you might be attacked. Nope. Continue this way. Run around to the far end of this cavern. Here we are. And just search the stand. Alright, it looks like you can use a safe spot right here. He's got 100 HP. As I said, level 111. These are his ranged attacks on level 78 defense with not very outstanding armor. If you have an Ava's accumulator, that would help you obviously not have to run and pick up your arrows if you don't have very many. I've only actually lost 2 because I had 20, right? And then so it looks like I'll be able to kill this guy with no problem. Alright, there's the disease. So he can disease you. So hopefully you might have brought some Relisum's Bomb. And you know, it didn't seem to work too well. But go ahead and pick everything up. These bones that he drops are actually really rare bones. It would be good to have. Shit. Nothing in particular. Alright. So from here, you just want to run back to Grish, however you can. And then once you're back at Grish, go ahead and talk to him. And that will be the completion of Zogre Flesh Eaters. This is helpful for it unlocks the ability to do Rum Deal. It also lets you create the Relisum's Bomb again, the Comp Ogre Bow and Brutal Arrows, and then also something called Inculation Bracelets, which are enchanted ruby bracelets, which defend against disease. Up to, I believe it's 250 disease damage. Also, this Black Prism, you can take it to either Zavistic Rarv or to Yanni Salika. So Zavistic Rarv is the guy who we talked to in the Mages Guild multiple times throughout the quest. And he will give you 2,000 coins. Or if you go to Shiloh Village and go to the north of the river, the building almost like all the way to the west next to the bridge where you start one small favor, he will give you 5,000 for the Black Prism, and you won't need it again. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the guide, and I hope it helped. Good luck, you guys.